Everyone knows someone who can walk into a crowded room and instantly sense who gets along, who doesn't, and what people are feeling. This ability to interpret others' attitudes and emotions through behavior was humanity's original communication system long before spoken language appeared. Before radio existed, most communication happened through writing, books, letters, and newspapers. This allowed people who were unattractive or poor public speakers, like Abraham Lincoln, to succeed through persistence and strong writing. The rise of radio shifted the advantage to those who had powerful speaking skills, such as Winston Churchill. He might not have thrived as much in today's highly visual media age. Modern politicians understand that appearance and image dominate public perception. That's why many hire body language experts to make them seem honest, compassionate, and trustworthy, even when they aren't. Interestingly, despite thousands of years of human evolution, serious research into body language only began in the 1960s. The general public became aware of it mainly after the publication of Body Language in 1978. Yet, most people still assume that spoken words are our main form of communication. In evolutionary terms, speech is relatively new. It likely developed only between 2 million and 500,000 years ago, during which time the human brain tripled in size. Before that, body language and simple throat sounds were how humans expressed emotion. Even now, they remain our primary tools for showing feelings, though we tend to focus mostly on what people say. Our everyday language still reflects how deeply body language is woven into communication. Phrases like, "get it off your chest," "keep your chin up," "stay at arm's length," or "shoulder a burden," all link physical expression to emotion and behavior. The early days. Silent film stars such as Charlie Chaplin mastered body language out of necessity. Their entire performance depended on physical gestures and expressions. When sound films emerged, actors who couldn't blend verbal and nonverbal skills quickly faded, while those who could thrived. The earliest scientific exploration of body language came from Charles Darwin's The Expression of the Emotions in Man and Animals, 1872. Though mainly read by scholars, it laid the foundation for modern research on facial expressions and nonverbal behavior. Since then, scientists have cataloged nearly 1 million gestures and signals. In the 1950s, research from Arabian found that when we communicate, only 7% of a message comes from words, 38% from tone of voice, and 55% from body language, proving that how we look often matters more than what we say. Anthropologist Ray Birdwhistell further developed the study of nonverbal communication, calling it kinesics. He estimated that people speak for only about 10 to 11 minutes a day, with an average sentence lasting just 2.5 seconds, and that humans can recognize about 250,000 facial expressions. Birdwhistell concluded that less than 35% of a conversation's meaning comes from words. The rest is nonverbal. Studies of business meetings and negotiations from the 1970s to 1980s revealed that 60 to 80% of the impact in these interactions comes from body language, and that people form most of their first impressions within 4 minutes. Over the phone, strong arguments may win, but face-to-face, physical cues often outweigh logic. Research shows that when meeting someone new, we instantly judge their friendliness, dominance, and sexual appeal, and our eyes aren't the first place we look. Words mostly serve to exchange information, while body language communicates attitudes and emotional intentions. A single glance, for instance, can send a clear message without a word being spoken. Body language and speech are so intertwined that experts like Birdwhistell claimed one could predict gestures from tone alone, or even identify what language someone was speaking just by their movements. Ultimately, humans are still animals, specifically a species of primate, Homo sapiens. Despite our intelligence, we remain governed by biological instincts that shape our body language and reactions. What's remarkable is how unaware we often are that our movements and posture can reveal one truth while our words say another.
When we describe someone as perceptive or intuitive, we're really referring to their ability to read others' body language and compare those nonverbal cues with what's being said. For example, when we get a gut feeling that someone is lying, it's usually because their gestures and facial expressions don't match their words. The same principle applies to public speaking. A perceptive speaker can sense when an audience is disengaged, such as when people sit back with crossed arms and lowered chins, and will adjust their delivery accordingly. A less perceptive speaker, however, would miss these signs and continue without changing their approach. In general, women are significantly more perceptive than men, a quality often referred to as women's intuition. Women naturally notice and interpret subtle body language cues and fine details. This explains why many wives can easily tell when their husbands are lying, while men are often unaware when women deceive them. Research from Harvard University supports this difference. In an experiment where participants watched silent films of a man and woman interacting, women correctly interpreted the scenes 87% of the time, compared to only 42% accuracy for men. Interestingly, men in nurturing or creative professions, like artists, actors, or nurses, scored similarly to women, as did many gay men. A mother's early communication with her baby, which relies entirely on nonverbal signals, further sharpens a woman's ability to read emotions and intentions. This is one reason why women often make better negotiators. They've practiced interpreting subtle signals from an early stage in life. Brain research using MRI scans also provides evidence for this difference. Women have 14 to 16 brain areas dedicated to interpreting others' behavior, compared to only 4 to 6 in men. This enables women to quickly assess social situations, for instance, determining which couples at a dinner party are in conflict or who is attracted to whom. It also explains why women seem to talk more and men less. Each is simply wired differently for communication. As discussed in Why Men Don't Listen and Women Can't Read Maps, women's brains are designed for multitasking. The average woman can manage several unrelated conversations or activities at once, such as watching TV, talking on the phone, listening to another conversation, and drinking coffee, all at the same time. Women also use up to 5 different vocal tones to change topics or emphasize points, while most men can only recognize about 3, leading to frequent miscommunication between the sexes. However, while women may naturally excel at reading nonverbal cues, anyone can develop this skill. People who pay attention to visible behavior, body movements, posture, and expressions make more accurate judgments than those who rely only on intuition. The ability to consciously read body language can be learned.
If you've ever visited a fortune teller, you might have been astonished by how accurately they seem to know things about you, details you believed no one else could possibly know. It might feel like they possess some kind of psychic power, but in reality, their success comes from a method called cold reading. Cold reading is a technique that allows someone to appear around 80% accurate when describing or analyzing a person they've just met. It isn't magic. It's based on keen observation of body language, an understanding of human behavior, and basic probability. This approach is widely used by psychics, palm readers, astrologers, and tarot card readers. Interestingly, many of them don't even realize they're relying on nonverbal cues. They genuinely believe they have supernatural insight, which makes their act even more convincing. Fortune-telling sessions also work because clients come in expecting positive or mysterious outcomes. Add some dramatic props, a few tarot cards, a crystal ball, a smoky atmosphere, and the scene becomes the perfect setup for a persuasive body language reading that feels like magic. The effectiveness of a psychic's performance depends on how well they interpret a person's responses, facial expressions, gestures, posture, and general appearance. Many psychics are women who tend to excel at reading emotional signals, as their brains are wired to notice subtle nonverbal cues, a skill that begins in early childhood when they read their baby's feelings. To show how cold reading works, imagine visiting a fortune teller in a dimly lit room filled with incense. The psychic, wearing a turban and gazing into a crystal ball, tells you, "I sense that you are dealing with worries and uncertainty. You often dream of achieving great things, but sometimes doubt whether you can. At times you're outgoing and friendly, while at other times you're quiet and reserved. You take pride in thinking for yourself and don't easily believe what others say without proof.
You enjoy change and freedom, but dislike being restricted. You want to open up to those close to you, but have learned not to share too much. Someone in your life whose name starts with S influences you deeply, and a woman born in November will soon bring you good news. You seem calm and controlled on the outside, but inside, you often question your choices. Surprisingly, this reading feels accurate to almost everyone who reads it. Studies show that such generalized statements apply to about 80% of people. Combine this with good body language reading, dim lights, and a touch of theatrics, and the effect can seem almost supernatural. While we're not suggesting you become a fortune teller, learning to read people's nonverbal cues can make you just as insightful as they appear to be.